I'm Johnny from Expert Boxing, and right now I'm going to talk to you guys about how to buy the right headgear. Let's start with the two kinds of headgear that you first see when you think about boxing headgear. You have something called cheeks, or you have something called bar, right? Face bar, face saver, or you got cheeks, which is the typical headgear. Now we call these cheeks because you see it has these cheeks right here coming in, and then we have this because there's a whole bar going across. There's also competition headgear. I like to say, like open face headgear where they don't even have the cheeks. So it looks kind of like this. I don't have any of that headgear, but imagine if I bent this in, it's just a big giant triangle and your face is super exposed, super thin headgear. That would be like the open face headgear. And typically the better fighters, they want something super light, super minimal. They don't even want to feel like they're wearing headgear. They want to feel like it's a fight, right? They don't need all this stuff. But most of you, if you're like me, a lot of your heavy fighting is not in international competition. It's going to be in sparring. So in that case, you want something a little heavier, a little more durable, can take a beating, and will protect your head over the long run, right? You're not going for the thinnest thing possible. Especially if you're starting out, you're buying your first headgear. So, okay, let's get a few basics out of the way. Right away, I'm gonna tell you right now, you need to know what kind of nose you have, right? So if you're like a black guy, or you're like an Asian guy, or some Hispanic guys, right, that we have like a very flat nose, right? Well, I have a little bit of a nose bridge, but a lot of Asians or blacks or some minorities, they have a very flat nose. They don't have any nose bridge. So those fighters that don't have a nose bridge, their nose doesn't get broken as easily. Because our noses don't get broken as easily, we can wear these cheek guards, we can wear the open face. But if you're like white, you have a European nose, you got a big nose bridge, those kind of noses can be broken very easily. And for that, if you have that kind of nose, you need to get a face bar headgear. That way your nose doesn't get broken every time you spar. So now let's talk about what things we worry about as a fighter. When we talk about comfort, visibility, the weight, the quality. Of course, we talk about that last. But let's talk about visibility, right? So there are a few things. What keeps you defended? Is it because the padding is so thick that when fighters, pop you in the head, that the padding is so thick that it protects you? Or is defense is protection for you? It means that to have great visibility, that you can see all the punches? Or is it that the headgear is so light and so thin that you can move your head so quick that you don't get caught in the first place, right? So it depends what it means to you. And then also, if you have like a big head, you feel like your headgear makes you even bigger, makes you feel even bulkier, makes you not feel as smooth when you're trying to do head movement. So these are a lot of things that people worry about, but I'll make it easy. The first thing you want to do is you want to put the headgear on. So I'm going to put it on, I'm messing up my hair for you guys. So I'll put the headgear on like this, and I put it on. I see the visibility, right? And let me strap it on like this the proper way. Okay, can I see? Yes, I can see. Do I feel secure? Yes, I feel like there's a little cage, it's around my face. Some of you don't want a cage, you want it more like this. You don't want stuff all over your vision, right? So, up to you, how much visibility you want. Do you want more or less? Now, is this more visible, or is the face bar more visible? You'd be surprised. A lot of times, because these cheek headgear, right? Remember, we're not talking about open face headgear because you're probably not on that level yet. So we consider only cheek or face bar. So a lot of times these cheek headgear, they try to protect you by sealing in the side. They come in through the side like this. So you may feel like you have more visibility, but actually they close in the side a little narrower, typically. Now when you get something like the face bar headgear, I don't know if you can tell, yes, this is covered, but I can see out a little farther. I feel like it goes wider on my eyes, so I have a wider vision. I can see hooks. Now maybe uppercuts from here, I can't see this. So you really gotta have a good feel for the fight, right? Where if I wear this cheeks headgear, I feel like I can see uppercuts running up the middle. I mean, in the end, with experience, if you're good, you're good. You know what you're doing. Headgear is not going to change your life so much, but it will make you feel more comfortable. So the visibility is the first thing. Okay, the second thing is the sizing. You got to really work the sizing, and I'm not going to do that in this video. I will talk about that in the next video on how to pick the right headgear size for you. Okay, let's talk about the other things. Comfort. A lot of the comfort has to do with the weight, the fit. You know, some headgear, it feels like a glove over your head and it feels like it's part of you, and when you move, it moves with you. Other headgear, it feels very bulky, right? I have this rival headgear, very protective, yes, but it feels very big and boxy, and when I move, and when I get hit on it, I can feel it like shifting around when it gets hit. So it feels like I'm wearing a box on my head, and then like when I get hit, I literally feel like somebody's punching me through a box. It doesn't feel like they're punching me on the head. Maybe you like that feeling, maybe you don't, I don't. Okay, also the inner material. So some headgear, they have a very smooth, cool liner, you know, feels cool, okay, as in not hot. There's other headgear, they have like a suede liner, it's a little furry. Personally, I like the furry liner because I feel like the headgear really grips my skin. It grips my face, it doesn't slide all over the place. Okay, some people don't like it. Some people like the slippery stuff, but sometimes the slippery stuff will slide. Every time you get hit, it slides. Now this winning headgear, it uses kind of like, it's not furry, it's like a smooth leatherish texture, but it grips my head very well and it stays in place. And then also, you know, some headgear, they have a little more protection in the back, you know. Other headgear, they don't, it's kind of slim in the back, but it makes the headgear lighter. So again, up to you. Other than that, it comes down to cost. I mean, what should a good headgear cost? Can be anywhere from $100 to $500 or even more, right? The top headgear, winning is the top headgear. Why? Because it's super light, super protective. Another thing too, when you wear something like Cheeks headgear, anytime you get hit anywhere on the headgear, I feel like it hits right in that area. If someone punches me here, I feel it right in my forehead. If somebody punches me here, I feel it in my cheek. But when you get a face bar headgear, I know you can't see it, but it's almost like this whole thing right here is one solid frame. So when they punch me anywhere, it feels like the whole frame is absorbing the shot. So face bar for me is more protective. Not only that, but you know, it's kind of what all the pros use. Almost all the pros, man, they go face bar. They don't risk getting their noses broken before the big Saturday fights, right? Other than that, you know, fit, quality, durability, the materials, you know, leather is better than synthetic. Some people, you know, some brands like Winning actually likes to use, they do both leather and synthetic, but they believe in synthetic because it doesn't break down as easily due to your sweat. Okay, other than that, comfort, you know, make sure the chin strap, the way it goes underneath your chin doesn't choke you, doesn't like kind of cut your chin and annoy you. Visibility is good, the weight is good, and that you feel good. Okay, so that's what I recommend. I'm John from Expert Boxing. If you like these videos, visit my website, expertboxing.com, or subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thanks for watching.